Well, it turns out we did not get ourselves a Nintendo Direct. It's officially the end of the week, and if Nintendo wanted to announce something, they definitely would have done it by now. But oh wait, it's not a complete waste because we did get two brand new announcements, and it turns out we did get our brand new 3D Mario, My Mario. So overall, this is definitely really interesting and really exciting, but oh wait, we also got a Switch 2 edition to squeeze into that sort of excitement. Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to be receiving a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which is really great in so many different ways. So yeah, in this video, we're going to be talking everything the Nintendo Direct, what Nintendo has planned, and the leaks. Let's get straight into it. So starting everything off with Nash Weedle claiming that we are going to be seeing a Nintendo Direct this week. Now I'm a little bit disappointed, but I see this is to expected. This is to be expected. Sometimes leakers get things right. Sometimes leakers get things wrong. Because everybody gets things wrong at some point. Because hey, imagine what you would be called if you got things right 100% of the time. Then you would be no good as a goody two-shoes or a smarty pants, if you will. So hey, I just don't want to be attacking Nash Weedle in any case, anyhow, whatever the case may be. But let's jump over to the elephant in the room, the Nintendo Direct. Now first off, a Nintendo Direct in the third week of February would have made sense, because right now, is there really something to be super excited about with Nintendo? Because I will tell you, from my experience, I'm really excited for games, but half of them aren't even from Nintendo, or I should say more than half. There's only 1 to 2 games from Nintendo that I'm actually pretty excited about. It started off with Pokemon Pokopia, that game honestly looks pretty good. Your Animal Crossing like simulator, that is just like a cozy game. I honestly really enjoy those games. And then, of course, Pokemon Generation 10 coming out later in the year. We know what's going to happen. It would be a big misstep if Pokemon decides, you know what guys? We're going to wait an extra 2 years to release Pokemon Generation 10 on the 32nd anniversary of Pokemon as a whole. It just doesn't make too much sense. But then when we're looking at Nintendo as a whole, right now we have a tennis game that just released. We have the upcoming Pokemon Pokopia. We also have a Yoshi game. We have the Virtual Boy Switch Online. We're probably going to be seeing extra GameCube games, but Nintendo has been very slow about releasing those games. So you really got to ask yourself the question, what is going on here? Why aren't we seeing any games? Now, one of the things that I would say is maybe they're doing the exact same thing as last year. Because if you don't remember, last year we didn't get a February Direct. In fact, we didn't get a Nintendo Direct until about March or the end of the March. And then we got a really good Direct in April. So maybe Nintendo is going to do a Direct like this again. Now, judging off of the leaks that we got previously, and if you just look at Nintendo's schedule, it seems like every Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is going to be 1 hour long, which is honestly great in so many different ways, because then you can stack up so many things. Maybe Nintendo doesn't have that much to stack up yet. Now, of course, there is supposedly going to be getting a 3D Mario. That would maybe be a 2-minute reveal trailer. And then we're supposedly going to get something for the Legend of Zelda. Now, this could be a remaster remake, another 2-minute. So let's just say that every single reveal is going to be around 2 minutes. So we could probably get 15 to 30 reveals inside of this Nintendo Direct, which would be really great. Of course, you can take it into consideration that we would see something to do with third parties, because let's just say that Elden Ring and the Dust Bloods didn't want to show off in the partner showcase. Either they weren't ready yet, or in the more likely scenario, they wanted to show it off with all the big Nintendo stuff, if that makes the most sense. So right now, I'm really in 2 split divisions. I honestly thought that the third week of February would have made the most sense for Nintendo Direct. Because just listen, the third week of February, you have a Pokemon Presents, you had a bunch of Directs last month that really didn't show too much off. Of course, you had Tomodachi Life, and you had Mario Galaxy at some point, little Direct to share off that movie. But I feel like other than that, there really wasn't that much. And then the partner showcase, well, it was the partner showcase. It was great for some of you and not so great for others. I found that it was mid at best. but overall, that is just what I think about it. So now, if we're going into March, there's a supposedly going to be a direct. Now, I don't want to bank on it. I don't want to say, you know what, we are going to get a direct in March, because right now, we don't really know if we're going to be getting a direct in March. Mario Day could make sense because it's Mario Day and you want to see something like that. And seeing a direct on Mario Day could actually say that, hey, we are going to be getting a 3D Mario. And I honestly saying that a 3D Mario makes so much sense because you have the movie, you can watch the movie and then look forward to 3D Mario later in the year, which is the perfect marketing strategy if you know what I mean. Right now, that is just like, well, maybe Nintendo is waiting for the 40th anniversary to be over for some reason and then release this game, because next week we are going to be getting the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. Now, you gotta ask yourself the question once again, is Nintendo going to do something on this anniversary? Because this anniversary is in fact on a Saturday, so maybe they're going to release some sort of trailer for the next Zelda, or they're going to officially reveal the Nintendo Direct or something like that. But overall, it's maybe Nintendo's going to be doing something on that day for the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, or maybe they aren't going to do anything. Right now, Nintendo, ever since the Nintendo Switch 2, they've been really, really weird, really, really strange. You can't really predict too much anymore unless it's 1 week ahead of like a partner showcase or 1 week ahead of something else. But overall, I think that it's definitely very, very weird. It would have made so much sense to see a Nintendo Direct, like to see Mario Kart World DLC, because that game is in a pretty tricky situation. There's a lot of people who dropped that game because there's not really much to do, and they're going back to either Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or they're moving to something else like Kirby Air Riders, or any other kart racing game, or maybe even any other game as a whole. So a DLC would have made so much sense for that. Then we could have had things like Force Your 3D Mario. We could have had things like remaster or remake for The Legend of Zelda, and that could have released earlier in the year. So like July, like we've seen it for Skyward Sword HD, which was honestly the best, because then you could have played your Legend of Zelda game during the summer break, which is great in so many different ways. Then you also could have seen a reveal for other third-party games, like maybe Forza Horizon is going to make its way, maybe some Xbox games. Now, I've been saying that for a long time, that Xbox games would have made a lot of sense. And then finishing off the Direct. Now, it would have either finished off on the 3D Mario, or it would have finished off on something brand new. So let's just say that 3D Mario came first, other thing brand new came in second. It could be a reveal, like an actual reveal for the 40th anniversary, but for maybe in 2028 for the next Legend of Zelda game. May that be some sort of cartoony game, may that be an ultra realistic game, may this be like something like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Overall, that would have been really great to see for the 40th anniversary. It would have been a perfect send-off on a very highly anticipated Nintendo Direct. But right now, it's just something. It's just something really, really strange that no Nintendo Direct in February. We haven't really heard anything a ton about Nintendo. Usually on the Nintendo Today app, we'll hear a couple things there and then. But it seems like it's mostly little avatar things. Like you got Kirby and then you got Link doing this. This is pretty interesting. Overall, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that a Nintendo Direct is on the horizon? February wasn't the case. Maybe they wanted to pass up on the Pokemon Presents first, get everybody excited for Pokemon Generation 10, a remaster, or remake, or even ports of the original games, and maybe even some Pokemon cards before they get scalped up by the scalpers. Overall, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have the greatest day possible. And with that being said, have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.